So I want you guys to do this with me. I'm going to do it, then I'm going to have you stand up and do it. You can do it right at your chair. If you watch my feet, I'm a right-handed hitter. I'm going to take my right foot and my right toes, and I'm going to dig them into my left instep. Now, what I've done is I've had internal rotation of my femur. I'm trying to drive it to the back of my hip socket. Now, I'm going to turn my hips back forward to you, and it feels like the ball of my femur is getting ready to rip out of my hip socket. This is the coil in the swing. I feel it around my rear hip and into my glute. Watch me when I lift my left shoe off the ground, what my body naturally does. And without even trying, I unwind. So when I say your hips are trying to resist rotation, when I coil into the negative move, I have to maintain that position all the way to foot down. I'm going to have you guys feel that. Right-handed hitters, it's going to be right shoe in your left instep. Left-handed hitters, left shoe in the right instep. Stand up for me and make you move around. You haven't done that all day. So take your right toe, if you're a right-handed hitter, dig it into the instep of your other shoe. And then turn your hips forward once again. And you're going to feel that hip socket almost ripping out into the back of your glute. You should feel a big stretch right there. Lift your other shoe off the ground, and you're naturally going to feel an unwinding. You have found the coil in the negative move. So when I have a linear push, when I'm going back to go forward, my hips remain neutral, and that can't happen. So basically what I'm teaching my hitters to do, and as a righty, I'm taking my right butt cheek and I'm turning it to the pitcher without my shoulders turning. And that's why I say my rear butt cheek versus my front one, because if you use the front butt cheek, your hitters are going to inward turn with the shoulder too. Remember, we're trying to create hip and shoulder separation. So I create that same hip and shoulder separation during the negative move. Right butt cheek onto the pitcher. Go ahead and go forward. You'll see Matt Kemp doing this. One more. And Kemp, to me, and this is one of the reasons why he and Pujols have had such good years these last few years, when you watch his negative move, watch how the belt buckle turns back towards his rear leg, towards the catcher's shin guard, the shoulder stays in place. He's sequencing his negative move, and he's separating his hips and his shoulders right from the beginning. Very little forward movement or advance. You have to make a forward advance. The back knee has to gain ground, even if you're a no-stride hitter. But I want to control that movement as much as possible. Guys that you find are a little wider like that, make it easier. I don't care what style guys start in. You can do this from any style. Narrow, wide, standing on your head. Your hips need to coil and maintain that coil all the way out to foot down. That's a good example. Let's give you a couple negative examples. This next one's a college guy just hit with me on break. He said, "Hey, coach, I've been struggling this fall." I said, "Well, there's a reason for that." And you watch this, you see how the shoulder gets over the rear foot. He's been taught to keep his knee inside the ankle, which is important. But if any piece of that gets over the rear leg, which is a wall, if it gets over that rear foot, that is a linear push. For him to make a forward advance, even if his back knee gains ground, it's going to happen late. He's already in the sequence. He's going to fire from the top. If your legs are inefficient, the next segments of the body, up the chain, have to work harder to make up for what the legs didn't do. So in this case, he's going to have more of a forward push to try to make up for that and create back speed. Now we're going to jumping at the baseball. Next one. This is going to be one of Danny Hall's guys next year. Very talented kid. He's committed to Georgia Tech. He's a forward of center guy. So even if he does have the coil around the rear side, once he breaks forward of center, we've lost the ability to spring the swing. He has to increase momentum to increase bat speed. So here's a guy that's struggled on off-speed pitches throughout his career, because once he commits that energy and weight forward past center, extremely difficult to put on the brakes. So we're going to show you some drills. Oh, one more. Okay, timing errors and the scapula. One area that I feel like that your hitters probably do the least amount of in the negative move is feeling an upper body scapula. Pitching coaches have talked about this for quite some time. I don't hear it a lot on the hitting side, and guys, it's absolutely necessary. I said the lower body loads in sequence first. The upper body follows it, and it is not at the same time. Lower body load, so I think butt cheek, upper body. Butt cheek, upper body. And the scapula you see with Quentin right here is the rear elbow pulling back towards his spine. So when you think about getting your hands back, guys, you cannot think of the swing in straight lines, because we are making a turn in the swing. Now, that can be concept. You need a hitter say, "I want you to stay on line to this baseball." Fine concept, but the swing doesn't work that way. So I'm trying to counter-stretch those muscles that are going to eventually make a turn. The scapula is what allows your upper body to resist the lower body during the turn process. So in the scapula, You'll see his rear elbow go back towards his spine. The scapula is what allows the front shoulder to stay closed. So we've also got front shoulders pulling off. You're coming off that ball early. It is not a front side issue. That's a backside issue. So you see your hitters, the number one flaw they have to not do the scapula is too fast in their tempo. The swing sequence takes time. If you start late or you rush that tempo, the scapula will never happen. And so the scapula has to be on time as well during the forward advance, whatever that forward advance is for the hitter. So when I gain ground, the scap is resisting, it's pulling against. That upper body resistance is what's going to slow down my lower body.